I ask you to picture a student in our district, whether it be one in the classroom, on the stage, or on the court, or field, that is represented by the empty chair. We're here for our students, and all decisions should be made keeping students at the forefront of all those decisions. As the best schools make decisions based on the needs and interests of their students, not the habits and traditions of the adults. I ask you to keep that student in your mind while making decisions to ensure the best interest of our students by providing a safe learning environment that is relevant and rigorous to prepare them for post-secondary endeavors.
Thank you, Mrs. Meyer, for that reflection. It is not on this evening's agenda, but we're going to go ahead and do introductions. There's several new people in the room. I'm Tina Ray Scott.
Jamie Johnson.
Billy Gunstein.
Mary Myers. Kelsey Hartman.
Marie Boyd.
Terry Powell. Chris Delforge.
Valerie Pierre. Dana Reddick.
Jay Warmboss.
Heather Hannes. Angela Harris.
Bryce Johnson.
Amber Weeks.
Nancy Meyer.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda are additions or approval of the agenda. The agenda this evening reads comments from the Morris County patrons, approval of the monthly bills and financials, approval of the consent agenda, administrative reports. We will be moving Mr. Dornbos to the beginning of those reports. That is one change so that he can get back over to his open house this evening. Then board member items, business items and reports, and our final thing would be agenda. Can I please get an approval, a motion to approve the agenda as presented with the change for Mr. Dornbos?
Madam President, I move that we approve the agenda as provided with the movement of Mr. Dornbos to the front, first portion.
Thank you. And a second? All right. It's been moved by Mary Kay, seconded by Marie, that we approve the agenda with the change. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Comments of the Morris County patrons. Doesn't look like we have anyone here this evening. Okay. The next item is approval of the monthly bills and the financials in the amount of $915,379.84. The financials were included in your packet. If there's no discussion, I would entertain a motion to approve the bills and financials in that amount.
Did those financials come out today? Because I didn't ever get them.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Give everyone just a minute. They're in the packet if you want to.
Oh, in the packet.
Oh,
I move that we accept the monthly bills and financials for $915,379.84.
I'll second that. Moved by Terry, seconded by Tina Ray. Is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The next item on the agenda is approval of the consent agenda. As Exhibit A, the consent agenda this evening includes approval of minutes of the previous meetings, donations and gifts, designation of school attendance officers for the 2023-2024 school year, Chris Delforge for Prairie Heights Elementary School, Jay Dornbos for Counts Grove Junior Senior High School, Heather Honus for Counts Grove Elementary School, and Nancy Meyer as the district superintendent. Under personnel for employment, Linwood Jake Erickson as the Counts Grove Elementary School aide interventionalist, Colton Fitzenmeyer as the interim technology director, Nola Miller as the assistant girls golf coach, Tom Van Valkenburg Jr. as the junior high football assistant coach, Tom Van Valkenburg Jr. as maintenance, Lindsay Hickman as the Prairie Heights Elementary School fourth grade teacher, replaces Laura Marshall, and the supplemental assignments for the activities and the activity sponsors as presented in the packet. Is there anything you would like to see removed from the consent agenda?
Madam President, I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
It's been moved by Jamie, seconded by Billy, that we approve the consent agenda as presented. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Administrative reports, Mr. Dornbos.
I'm gonna give you both Mr. Fox and I's report. Mr. Fox is over in the building, so I'll just real quickly go over. He wanted to share with you numbers. We made it around all the sports practices today. Today was the first day of practice for fall sports. Cross country numbers, we have 7 out for high school cross country and 4 for junior high. Football, we have 48 for the high school football team, 33 for junior high. Volleyball, we were at 32 today for high school, 23 for junior high, and then golf, we had 12. So some sports up a little bit, some sports down a little bit. School's not in session yet, so you always pick up quite a few kids on that first day when we're actually in class. It's also been a little bit of a rough week for students and staff, and so we know we have some that just aren't back with us yet. So other than that's really it for activities. Always in August, kind of give you highlights of what's been going on in our building this summer. Our building really never shuts down. In fact, in June, our building feels like sometimes it's more busy than it is during the school year. So just this summer, things we've had in our building, we had dance recital, summer musical, summer food program, the Washunga Days flea market, community band practices, summer weights, junior high basketball league, Bike Across America. That's a big rental that we have. There's usually around 150 to 200 bikers that spend a couple nights in our facility. We had a football camp with about 60 to 75 boys, basketball camp, same numbers, girls basketball camp, about 50 to 60 girls, wrestling camp between the boys and the girls, we had about 175 this year, and then volleyball camp, we had about 60 to 75 kids for volleyball camp. So that was all crammed into June, because June that's the month that Casey gives you to get that stuff in. So other stuff over the summer, our maintenance and janitorial crews, they've been pretty busy cleaning and working on projects in our building. If you haven't been in our building lately, we have some areas that look quite a bit different. We put epoxy flooring throughout the hallway in the 1960s edition. Also the old gym lobby. If you haven't been in the old gym lobby, the walls have been painted. We put an epoxy floor in, and then the old concession stand. We gutted it, we blocked up where the window was, and it's a really nice counselor's office now. I don't know that anybody could have envisioned how nice it would turn out, but it looks really good. So we did some other things. We ripped carpet out of one of our old locker rooms. Don't ever put carpet in locker rooms, that's a bad idea. And so finally, we're done with that. We've painted and installed carpet in several classrooms. Our HOSA organization once again, they wanted to remodel some bathrooms to make them nicer for students, so they concentrated on the ag bathrooms out in the shop. So they painted them. We purchased some new stalls, and they've also done some things, some signage, and then they're doing some things with different hygiene products, putting them in the bathrooms for us. So that's 2 summers in a row that they've done some work for us. New staff that we'll be welcoming, Michelle Ford in junior high math, Mindy Stillwell in junior high social studies, Emma Metfin, and Danny Sisson, both student support services, and Tuff Medina as a janitor, and Kara Acosta as a para. So those are the new staff members in our building. Things we've got coming up this month. Last week we had our concussion video where we invite students to come in and get that out of the way. State law requires that they have to watch that video before they can compete in a competition. And so we had 174 athletes come in for the concussion video last Thursday evening. Then we had our all sports parents meeting at 6:30 last Friday night, had a good crowd for that. We knew there were some other things that came up that were Friday night that drew the crowd away a little bit, but we still had a pretty good crowd for that. We'll have back to school nights tonight and tomorrow night. We're so crowded in our building that we have to divide it up, and then we actually assign them a time alphabetically so that it's not just packed in the hallways. And then August 16th, so this Wednesday, we'll have transition day for 7th and 9th graders. So they'll be in our building from 8:10 to about 11:55. Gives the 7th graders and 9th graders a chance to go throughout their schedule without the pressure of all the students being there. Also, our 9th graders will meet with their mentors for the first time. And then August 17th, first day of school. So that's what's been going on in our building. I won't be here later, so I will mention that there is a proposal for senior citizen passes. Did some research, talked to other league schools. Every league school does offer a senior citizen pass. It only applies when you're at home events, and so we've had a senior citizen pass. We'd like to drop the age to 60. That helps fit some of those staff members that have retired. So some of our recently retired staff members that didn't go to 65, that would be a benefit to them and others in the community. And if you pass that, we're gonna do a better job as a building. We're gonna try to advertise that a lot more and get that out to the public as a service. So I won't be here yet because I'm gonna head back, but if you have questions about that, call or email. But we just think it'd be a better service to our population. Anybody have any questions? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy tonight. Mr. Del Forge.
Okay, I'm Chris Delforge, I'm the new principal at Prairie Heights. See you all. One thing as an administrator in this district now, I've been very impressed with professionalism and helpfulness of the staff. The building is in great shape. I walked it pretty well, and teachers enjoyed the professional development, and the lunch was really good and appreciated. Spring math was useful. The staff is a great group. They're knowledgeable and they're fun so far. Preparation for back to school night. We discussed a lot of things. One thing that did come up, and it's probably gonna be something that we'll talk about as an administrative group, is they would like to go to maybe a 1 to 2 hour possibility, but we'll see. Angela Harris.
What?
For open house.
Oh,
Go to a
okay.
1 to 2 hour instead of having a 4 hour, but I don't know how that would work. I've talked to Val, she says it's set, but we'll talk about it later. So Val is my mentor, by the way. I don't know if she likes it, by the way. Angela Harris did a great job with Title I, meeting with our staff, and I think they got some more information that was pertinent. We have 3 new staff members. Kindergarten is Danielle Stewart. I guess she was there for half year last year. 4th and /art will be picked up by Lindsay Hickman, and PE, Tanner Schneider, will take that. New roles in our building. Laurel Marshall will be moving from 4th grade to SPED. after-school program, and as an aide, we have Daisy Seward. Student support specialist, Danny Session, and recently, we were visited by the local fire department. They did a 2-day training, August 6th and 7th. PTO items, they did a great job of cleaning up our building, picked out some weeds. I brought my snippers and weed whip and all that stuff, and they already did it. So I was like, okay, no fun to me. I even came dressed for success on that day. But anyway, we won't talk about that. We did postpone the second day of cleaning. They're going to be doing a back-to-school decoration tomorrow. No, tonight. 14th, yeah, tonight. Tuesday, August 15th, back to school. 16th, the first day with kindergartners, 8 to 11. And August 17th, the first day of school. And I already talked to my staff and I said, we will have an amazing year.
Thank you. Mrs. Gare, I'll just keep going in order.
I didn't have any fancy notes to read, so I just wanted to tell you, in addition to my report, I really appreciate those of you that were able to make either the new teacher training or the first day of not back to school, but back to their contract for the teachers. I know some people's schedules it didn't work out, but those that made it, thank you. Tasha Green and I had a wonderful time with the new teachers. Our administrators and title and everybody kind of helped pitch in and lead different sessions, so thank you guys for that. We've been getting feedback from them. We haven't gotten feedback from everybody yet, but overwhelmingly it's been positive. They feel very welcomed. They loved the social time that we got to eat lunch, and I don't know if you guys know, the trolley was broken down, so we didn't get to do the trolley ride, but Tasha and I got to be tour guides, so that was a little fun surprise for them. They got a lot of goodies this year, so a lot of local businesses donated things, and so we really appreciated that. Tasha got a little, it was actually quite large by the time they got it. All the businesses donated things, and then the Teachers Association also got gifts for them too, and so they just left the first day, I think, feeling very loved and very welcome, so shout out to everybody who had a part in that. So it's been good, it's been exciting and learning all kinds of new fun things, so.
Mrs. Reddick, do you have anything to add?
Not beyond what I had in my report that I gave to you all. I met with all the health staff today and got all the reviewing and training done, so we're ready to go. We will be by Wednesday.
Mrs. Holmes.
All right, so this summer, our building has had a lot of maintenance and updates. We have new epoxy flooring in the foyer and to the hallway that goes to the gym, plus the intermediate hallway. The old sub tiles that were nasty beige, those have been sanded and painted. And so they're navy with a gray accent up top. It looks very nice. Mike Kelly did a great job on that project. Honus Construction replaced the old deck in the annex with composite decking. It's super great to roll things up in our move, along with the bridge that Seamers Construction did. Has been a great addition and helpful for us, and it makes it look nice. The custodial crew has been working very hard and trying to get everything ready. We're still not quite there yet, but it'll come together by tomorrow evening, I know it will. I always love this time of year when the classrooms are getting decorated. We've had teachers in and out all summer long working on things. And they put in hours and hours and hours of time to make that classroom inviting and, unique for their rooms. And we really appreciate all the countless hours that they put in. We had several teacher teams take some summertime work to plan together. And this is something that's offered and they get paid for that work time, and they really appreciate that. Let's see. Just everybody, our district staff, nursing staff, food service, pulled in together to make professional development go smoothly, and it's much appreciated. Carol Wright and Karina Martin, she's our new secretary to the building, They've been working nonstop since enrollment, every day, multiple times a day. We lose some, we gain some, we lose some, we gain some. So the numbers I sent you, yeah, they're not right. So basically, as of today, when I left, we had lost 15 students, but gained 17. So we're still down from last year because of our class sizes coming in and going out. We may have a couple more enrolling that we have heard about, but it's not official yet. So hopefully we'll be around that same number where I told you. On Monday, PTO met, and we had our first PTO meeting of the school year, and then we went on a little tour around the building just to see all the new things. Another new improvement, so we had these old, nasty, brown wire shelf things that had been there before I was there, and you just stack everything up, and it was just an eyesore. So those got taken out, and nice, pretty, they're just very plain and simple, but great cabinets where you can shut the cabinet doors and make it look clean and inviting. And a lot of teachers are just like, oh my goodness, this is a game changer. And so I think that helps with the chaos in your room also, to hide some of that too for our learners. Let's see. Oh, and then on our walkabout with PTO, we stopped by the student support room, and I got to brag on Kelsey a little bit about how that room has evolved over the years, and that she is going to be a presenter at the MTSS Symposium. So that's pretty cool. Let's see, on the 15th, tomorrow night, we have back to school night. We have the 16th is kindergarten transition day, and the 17th is first day of school. Also, we've had some good feedback from aides, paras, and teachers for that building PD day. That usually is just our teachers that we have, but we were allowed to have aides and paras, so we had 60 people in our multipurpose room working together, and it was great. So thank you for supporting that and letting us have that collaboration time. Any questions?
Thank you. Mrs. Meyer.
Gee, how can I top that? Well, I can tell you that on Tuesday when everybody came for breakfast, Becky told me she ran out of food. She said she's never had all the teachers show up. But I'm going to tell you 99.9% of everyone that was supposed to be there. This is also classified custodians, anybody that needed to hear our spiel just about the business part of school was there. And then, of course, the Methodist women served us lunch, which was wonderful. And everybody stayed around for that. So kudos to our administrators and the type of professional development that has been offered. We are hand-tied sometimes by the state. They just keep adding things to the list that we have to train our teachers. This year it's dyslexia, and I know Tasha has taken that on with a big heart to do that. But I toured the high school today. It's the first time that I've really been in the building, and Jay took me all the way through it. I have planned to go through the elementary school and Prairie Heights in the next couple of days. My late hiring quite didn't afford me a tour, and I didn't want to tour by myself because Jay showed me little nooks and crannies. But I'm impressed with the custodial staff that has gotten things clean. You know, we can look pretty, but if we're not clean, we're not doing our job. But everything that I saw is clean, is fresh, is ready for kids. And I think we're gonna have a great year. I'm impressed with the administrative team or any of the teachers that I talked to. They're all ready. They're excited. And teaching is probably the only career that you have a fresh slate every fall, every August. I got new kids coming. I won't have to mess with that group from last year. I lost my good kids from last year. What am I going to get this year? We're all that way. And we learn new experiences every day from our students. That's what they're there for. We are lifelong learners, and I think we are in very good hands with the people that we have hired.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda are board member items. I'll start. Jamie and I were very fortunate to attend the new staff and the all-staff breakfast, so we'd just like to thank you for the invite, the opportunity to be able to do that. That was a lot of fun. Normally we sit at a table, and in the past we've had something to hand out. We didn't have anything to do this year, so we essentially got to just hug on staff and welcome them back and be greeters. So great opportunity for us. So again, thank you for the invite. The other thing that I want to remind board members is that if you want to attend the KSB annual convention or any other training that you see PD, just make sure that you reach out to Amber to get you registered, and she'll get that done for you. So those are some of the things that are filling up fast. So Jamie, have anything?
I don't think so. You already, ditto. Thanks for the invite. It was a lot of fun. The smoothie machine was fantastic. I was really excited about that. So I think that staff and students are gonna find that a welcome addition. So.
Great. Anyone else have anything to add? Okay. Then we'll move on to our action items. The first action item are the KSB recommended policies. There's quite a few.
Can I
Yes.
say something? Anytime KSCB gives us a recommendation on policies, unless it's brand new, it's because of wording. It's because of change in state or federal laws. And sometimes it's just, they might remove a sentence and put another one that sounds the same, but it's different wording. And so all that are listed here are what I would call routine updates, except for the administration of emergency opioid antagonist and the naloxone report. Okay, and we sent that to Dana. I think we're probably okay on what they had.
There's a little bit of difference compared to the policy we just put in place, but it'll be some easy transition pieces that I can take care of, no problem.
Okay.
I think the other thing that was new is the IFCC, the overnight accommodations piece. That's state statute.
The overnight accommodations is state statute on when you travel and have accommodations for students, they must be in a room of their biological birth certificate.
So the following policies are to be recommended: AG, closing of school buildings; GAAF, emergency safety interventions; GAOA, drug-free workplace; GARID, military leave; IFCC, overnight accommodations; JBC, enrollment; JGFGA, administration of emergency opioid antagonists; JGFGA, Naloxone incident report; JH, student activities; KK, disposal of district property. This is revised with a new title; and KN, the complaints, revised. And just a reminder, we are working with KSB to get all of our policy digitized and put online. So these new pieces would just slide in there. But we do need an approval of the recommended policies, please.
Can we make a motion with all of them in one?
Absolutely.
Do I need to list them out?
No, I did that for you.
Excellent. Thank you. Madam President, I move that we approve the recommended KASB policies as listed by you and on our agenda.
It's been moved by Jamie, seconded by Billy, that we approve the KASB policies as presented. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Great, thank you.
I would like to comment that on the list that they sent us was one about the non-resident enrollment. And that law is going to take effect in January, so we're gonna wait and look at it either in September, October, when it comes along. There's so much more that we as superintendents need to learn before we actually talk about what our policy is gonna be. They pretty well have it down, but there's a lot more to it than just being non-resident. So we'll talk about that in the next couple of months.
Thank you. The next item is to select a KSB delegate assembly. This would be our person who's able to vote on November 11th at the annual convention. I'll be present, Mrs. Meyer will be present, and Jamie has signed up to go. So if there's, Jamie has said that she'd be willing to do that again this year, but we do need an official nomination from the board in order to do that. I can't do that because I have other duties that I'll be assuming at that time, so.
We nominate Jamie.
Can I get, all right, it's been moved by Marie, seconded by Terry, that we nominate Jamie as the KSB voting delegate. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And thank you. We're going a little slower tonight with this being Amber's first time in the room, just so she can take her notes. So the next item is the 2023-2024 budget review, hearing date, and approval for publication. That's Mrs. Meyer and Bryce.
That is Bryce.
Give me a second to share my screen. Screen sharing. Just hit. I don't remember how to get there.
The middle button that's green, Bryce.
Oh, yep, thanks.
So the two documents you have in front of you are the Code 99 and the Notice of Hearing for the R&R, which we've already sent to the county clerk. This will probably be shorter than it has been in past years. You contracted with Greenbush Administrative Services to do budget closeout and prep this year because there's a lot of transitions going on over the summer and I was new to the role, and it's unlikely that I was going to be able to put together a decent budget on my own. And honestly, I didn't have to do much other than send them reports and all of the county estimates and various documents that get sent to my office over the summer. Travis Laver is a retired superintendent. This is his first year with Greenbush Administrative Services. We were one of a dozen, 2 dozen districts that he was performing this task for. Made it pretty painless. I still don't know the ins and outs because I didn't get to work alongside him. What interaction we did have was through Zoom, but pretty much it was hands-off. He closed out the last year and put together the budget for the new fiscal year. I'm hoping to get some training over this year to be able to participate a little more in the process. But it's safe to say that it's a sound budget. Coming from a retired superintendent, and Superintendent Meyer and I traveled to Topeka and had Craig Nineswander, he's the KSDE Deputy Commissioner of Fiscal and Administrative Services, look it over with us, and he said it's sound and we're in good shape. Really, like in previous years, not much changes with the numbers from year to year. You're always estimating more than what you need, so you have the authority to spend what you need to if you have more students than expected, or you have, I don't know, rising costs or whatever. But I guess the important part is that you're not raising the mill rate, which is not the impression that the R&R hearing notice gives, which you discussed that in the past, how you're always raising more taxes with that 20 mils. So the revenue neutral rate's always below what you're going to be levying, because your assessed valuation is always going up. But speaking with Craig and Travis, they both wanted us to keep in mind that this year will be the last year for those federal funds. Those ESSER dollars we're gonna spend out through this year primarily on salaries. And then next year, we will be looking for places to expend those salaries. And a couple places they brought up are the at-risk fund and the preschool aged at-risk title, which we expend some salaries there already, but now there are required transfers for like at-risk at the end of the year. And you can see from the cash balance that it's going up, and it will continue to go up because we're not currently expending the amount of salaries there that we could be, so that will be helpful in future years. But looking at this year, we still have that ESSER money to spend, so we're in really good shape. I don't know if there are particular codes you want to look at, but this tonight, just looking to have a consensus approval to publish these two documents in the newspaper. The notice of the R&R hearing had already been sent to the county clerk, Chelsea Schmidt, and that's what she would have served notice to all taxpayers that we intended to exceed the revenue neutral rate. So that's already been put out there. This code 99 would be a new document for the public, but both of them would go in the paper. You have to provide 10 days notice at least before your hearings, which ours are scheduled for the day of the next regular meeting, September 11th. We have the R&R hearing at 5:45, the budget hearing 5 minutes later at 5:50, and then the regular meeting at 6.
And we have to do a formal resolution on the revenue neutral rate by roll call vote on September 11th.
Any questions? If not, we just need a motion to approve the budget as presented, which then would solidify our hearing date and approval for the publication as well. And then, like Bryce said, the R&R information is just there because that has already gone out to taxpayers. We did that last meeting, but that's just filling in what those numbers are and what that looks like. So again, state statute requirements.
Madam President, I move to approve the 2023-2024 budget review hearing date and the approval for publication in the newspaper.
Thank you.
Second.
It's been moved by Kelsey, seconded by Jamie, that we approve the 2023-2024 budget as presented, along with the hearing date and the approval for publication in the local paper. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thanks, Bryce. The next item is outsourcing our technology.
And I apologize for not having this on the drive. As of Friday, we were unsure that we were going to present this. It has a lot to do with E-rate funding. We've already asked for E-rate funding for this fiscal year, and the application doesn't start again until about next February. But these are services we're asking for from 3 companies.
Yeah, it's the packet that's in front of everybody.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's the one that says, don't look at it yet. Colt and I met with each one of these groups. 2 of them are people that have worked with us before. So basically what we're looking for is someone to take over the duties of a technology director. And in the consent agenda, I asked that we name Colton as interim technology director because we will have some forms that a technology director is going to have to sign. So he's kind of got to take that role on. But he feels that he can do the day-to-day improvement, help. We have technicians of each of our schools in the library. I think we have some students that also help at the high school to help with Chromebooks. So what we're looking at here is cybersecurity, keeping our mainframe and our infrastructure up to date. All right? And the very first one that's on top here is Greenbush. I don't think Greenbush took enough time to really look and come visit our place or anything. We did everything on Zoom with them. And as you can see, it's a total of $31,000. It gets up there a little bit more. Anyway, it gets up, it's to $66,000. And we weren't quite sure, Colt and I kind of weren't quite sure if they were gonna send somebody when we needed them. They did have people coming 3 days a month to look things over. Not as impressed with them on our interview. So the second group is Albert, which is K-12 ITC out of Kansas City. They're a company that helped put in our infrastructure whenever that was, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, whatever. So they know about our system. As you look there on the top of the second page, they're asking for $136,000. But here's the issue. We have switches, relays, about 22 of them, that will be on their 5th year next year. And they usually last about 5 years and they start to slow down. And we know that from Tori, he recommended we get our switches replaced in the next year. When K-12 ITC comes, they'll replace our switches. They want a 5-year contract. And if we decide not to renew them in 5 years, they take their switches with them. Anything that they place in our buildings belongs to them. High possibility, if we wanted to, the Golden Boy tech director came along, wanted to move to our area, and we wanted to hire a full-time tech director, and we wanted to get out of the 5-year contract with K-12, would be almost impossible. We'd probably be paying them 2 years of their contract to get out of the contract. Couple gentlemen came, very thorough with us. They're in Kansas City. They're an hour and 45, 2 hours away. They talked about bringing Colton in and training him on some specifics of the system. I can't talk technology geek talk, so try to keep it in layman's term. ISG Technology is out of Topeka. And really am more impressed with him on a personal level, being able to talk to us about what we have, what we need, different things like that. They charge by the month. He has a 3-year contract. The district-wide switch replacement would be a one-time replacement, and we wouldn't do that until next February or March when we have E-rate funds again, which would cover that $122,000. The company actually gave us a 25% break in costs on the equipment. We talked today about this E-rate and the services, and some of their services are covered by E-rate, some are not. And they're going to put a clause in our 3-year contract that if we get approval or non-approval on E-rate, that they will adjust the length of our contract and some of the items in it, so we can apply for E-rate funding. That's about all I know. Marie?
Is
part of this discussion because we couldn't find a replacement for Troy?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. And so all of these companies would be handling our mainframe infrastructure remotely. So I said, what happens if there's a glitch in electricity? In my former school, everybody come to school and the computers, wouldn't work. And he said, they have a system that notifies them and they can restart our computers in the middle of the night if they need to. If we need people on the ground, what I call feet on the ground, if we need people here to repair or to help train, they're willing to do that. Cybersecurity is huge. And I think Tori did all of this by himself. So I don't know what software he used. We're kind of, I don't know, what do I want to say? We really don't have a choice we have a choice on who we hire. We don't have a choice to wait. And if it was the 1980s, we'd probably be okay. Nobody would have a computer. We wouldn't have internet. We wouldn't have to worry anything. But this is a huge part of our budget. His 96,000, actually the one bid that came in today was in the upper 80s. That's on a contract. If we looked at a tech director's salary plus benefits, plus taxes, plus everything that we would give an employee, it's a little less than this, but I feel that ISG probably has this covered a little better than the other two.
And you can cancel it, it's a yearly contract with them then versus the other ones?
Well, this is a 3-year, unless we find out that E-rate will cover some of his services.
Okay.
All right, and because we pay them monthly, on a monthly basis, instead of one big lump sum, he's willing to put that in the contract that they'll adjust what they need to when we find out in February and March that E-rate will cover some services for next year. And we don't do E-rate. A group at Greenbush, or we could go to Smoky Hill and Salina, does E-rate. They tell us how much money the federal government's going to give us for internet and technology. And then we have to show them how we're going to use it, what equipment we need to improve. And then they look it over and tell us if we get all our money or some.
Mr. Powell, this is in your wheelhouse. What do you?
Well, I mean, I can geek out pretty quick. I guess my first question would be on the K-12 versus the ISG, if we're just gonna compare the two. ISG's put it out, I'll call them modules. Does K-12 offer anything like that, or is it just, is theirs all or nothing? Since they're gonna own the whole thing.
It's all or nothing.
Okay.
And again, you wanna read through everything they offer about it. It wasn't like we could break anything down. They wanted complete control of our system.
Okay. So to speak to what you said there about stuff rebooting in the middle of the night, chances are we're not gonna have passwords or access to anything anyway, even if we had somebody here. If Colton wanted to do something, probably the best thing he can do there is make a phone call.
Right, right.
So then jumping down to the ISG part, I'll call this a little bit of a cafeteria plan. If we decide, a year from now that Colton has a good handle on, I don't know, managing the firewall, are they willing to kind of mix and match these a little bit if we need to down the road?
Not necessarily. If we find out the firewall is covered by E-rate, they would drop it.
Okay.
And we found out that Colton could handle that, they would drop it.
Okay.
So if it's a 3-year contract, if I'm understanding it correctly, so you kind of mentioned if the perfect person came in, we can't really hire unless we pay them out still. We would be
That
paying
would be correct in all 3 of them.
But we really don't have a choice at this point.
Right.
Greenbush had a contract as well?
Yeah, right now, I think we're burning Colton up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And nothing is being done other than what Tori had in place for cybersecurity. And that changes almost weekly on what else you need to add, what else you need to take care of.
Which you have to
And
monitor.
Colton's not at that level yet.
As a technology company, has ISG worked with, I'm guessing, schools in particular to E-rate? Could they help us in our
Yes, we
application to
actually have
get
to,
more
we actually
E-rate
have to
funds?
use Greenbush. They are assigned to us by the
Yeah.
federal government. So there's a company that gets that money, we apply for it, it goes through Greenbush, and they get it from the, we don't do anything directly, but ISG or K-12 ITC can check with E-rate for us and see what could be
I
covered.
was just wondering if they can help us with the applying for funds so that we can get as much of those funds instead of a portion of those funds, because I just know, like in my world, the people that speak the language can usually write the language to
Yes.
capture more
Yes,
funds
and
better than I
yes.
could.
Mhm.
So I wondered if that was something they could
What do you think, Joe?
help us with.
All this.
Well, I don't think you're ever gonna find somebody in today's world that can come in and do all these things without somebody above them to help them. I mean, honestly, and I'm looking at the ISG one right now, but he's got, 7 different modules there. ISG is gonna have 30 different experts with that. And Tori was great, don't get me wrong, did a lot of things. I'd like to consider that, I'd like to think that I'm taking good care of my bank. But at the same time, I know I can't do it all. There's just no way, it's too big. So even if we found that rock star and hired them, we're still gonna need somebody upstream, probably from here moving forward, to just have to make those phone calls that, because the other piece of this, quite bluntly, is we're out here on an island in rural America. We don't have a group of people that we can get together with every Thursday and talk through things, and we're not big enough to have a team of technology people. So this, in a lot of ways, becomes that community or that team that people can then take advantage of, and honestly, the price isn't out of line. I know it's a big number, but it's, again, to be blunt, it's the cost of doing business,
What
and
does this,
securely.
what's this mean down here when it says they belong to the district?
Say again?
The
So
switches.
any equipment we buy is
Yeah.
ours, we're not,
Yeah.
we're not
We
leasing
wouldn't own
them.
it.
Okay,
Right.
that is the
Well, and
switches.
cybersecurity is constantly changing and criminals are evolving to get smarter, and just trying to stay on top of that and keep everything updated is ridiculous.
We have a big group, superintendent or school district group on cybersecurity. I know in Belleville, 3 or 4 years ago, they paid the $50,000 for ransomware. And that keeps evolving. And so there's a group that they are connected to, all these 3 are connected to know what's the next step. Okay, what kind of trick did they use this time?
Well, and there's insurance out there for some of that, the cyber insurance, but if you don't have a playbook, that you go through exactly the right steps to deal with that, they just drop you like a hammer. It's just
Right.
done, there's no question. So you've got to have that playbook, and I'm guessing as part of this managed services, they would help develop that playbook and what needs to happen in the event of A, B, or C.
Right.
So Superintendent, your recommendation would be for ISG in the amount of the $96,717.36.
Or less. We're still working on this.
But that would probably be the
Up to
max.
that.
Up to.
That's the max.
Okay.
I just don't like that they keep their equipment. That doesn't make sense to me, that you're gonna install it and then take it with you as you go. So that, I mean,
Yeah,
seems
that's
like a big,
Well, it's more of a lease than it is a purchase.
Yeah,
Right.
And by the time you get to the end of your 5 years, it's not just switches, it's also gonna be your servers, it's gonna be your firewalls, it's gonna be your routers. In essence, you're gonna start completely over.
Well, they
Say
lock you
something
up to
happened,
renew.
I was
yeah,
gonna
Yeah.
say that's how they.
that's how they
get
keep
you
you
to sign
renewing, so
again.
yeah.
Okay. Madam President, I move that we approve outsourcing our technology with ISG Technology out of Topeka with a yearly contract amount up to $96,717.36.
Okay, it's been moved by Jamie, seconded by Kelsey, that we approve the bid from ISG Technology out of Topeka for the amount up to $96,717.36. Is there any further discussion?
No, just thank you. Thank you for this, and thank you, Terry, for trying to
Yes,
help us.
yes. And I think sooner the better, it's probably gonna be needed. Hearing none, all in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, everyone. That was a big help. We'll get that kicked off. The next item is the substitute handbook for 2023-2024 and substitute pay. Mrs. Meyer.
The substitute handbook is online. The only thing changed in it is that we ask substitutes to come 20 minutes before and stay 10 minutes after. Makes them a longer day. And the other thing that's blank in it is how much we pay substitutes. So I called Northern Heights. Northern Heights pays $120 and Harrington pays $125. We are at $115.
Did you check with White City?
With who?
White City?
I did not check with White City, but I know that Harrington calls their substitutes by phone, and if they've taken a job here, they can find out they can make $10 more a day going to Harrington. Especially with the highway closed, you know, you're not getting anybody driving from Manhattan down. I recommend you go to $125 for a substitute. Did we have a long-term pay for subs? Do you know what that was? No one seems to.
It goes from the first year teacher somehow, but it has to be after so many days.
Days,
There's
right.
a whole criteria.
Okay,
The daily rate, the lowest step on the salary schedule.
okay.
Do we know how many days we had or how many subs we used last year? That would give us some sort of an idea of how many dollars we're actually talking about if we bump this by. I mean, it's a ton,
Yeah.
yeah.
A lot, I mean, we have
Right.
70 certified teachers. I'd say most of them all use probably at least 5 days a year, if not more. So, you know, we've got a couple, we've got one maternity, we've got some other medical issues going on this year. So,
What's the length of the day for a sub?
like the length of a day, 20 till 8 to 3:15, 3:10. Unless you're up north, and 3:45 puts you to 3:55. It's a long day there. It's a solid, almost a solid 8-hour day at Prairie Heights, if not more. And down here, it's about 7 hours and 50 minutes, 7:45.
At 8 hours, that's 15 something an hour.
Yeah, that is,
Yeah.
yeah.
We had a lot of sub jobs that went unfilled last year too, so I would add that, maybe that will help us recruit somewhere. More subs.
Yeah, I think we've had principals step into the building, we've had aides and paras have to step up, and so.
Teachers subbing for each other.
Right, no planning periods. Yeah. So we're looking for recommendation to approve the substitute handbook and to increase the substitute pay to $125 per day.
No, go ahead.
Madam President, I move that we accept the substitute handbook for the 23-24 school year, and move the substitute pay to $125 per substitute day.
It's been moved by Mary Kay and seconded by Kelsey that we approve the substitute handbook for 23-24 school year and the substitute pay to $125 a day. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The next item is our district plan for safe return to in-person instruction and continuity of services.
And this is an item that has to be on our website. I didn't necessarily find one, and I borrowed it from another school. But under G, Jamie has suggested in her medical knowledge that vaccines for children 12 and under, what are we gonna say? Vaccines for children 6 months and older are available at Morris County Health Department, as parents have the full decision-making on the choice to have their child receive the vaccine or not. And that would take a place of the vaccines for children 12.
I'm
That very last
proposing we
sentence.
change that to 6 months and older, because that's what we offer.
Instead of 12 months and older.
12
years.
12 years and
Years.
older.
Okay.
Yes.
The COVID vaccines that are available start at 6 months and older. So I recommended we change that just because it's a little misleading.
Okay.
But otherwise, or we can just put vaccines for children are available and leave the age out. But they can
Oh, are
be,
available at the county health
Yes.
department.
because they are available at 6 months is the youngest you can be and up. So I don't want people
I
to
probably,
read this and think that
No one
their
under
kid
12.
12 and under can't get one if they
I would
chose to
leave
give
that
them
out
one.
completely then. Vaccines for children are available at Morris County Health. And leave the age out completely. That's a good idea.
That was my only suggestion I had as far as a change.
Dana's left,
I was
but
gonna
it's a, what the health
sounds
department does, so,
reasonable.
yeah, Kelsey, you know, yeah, okay. All right, so we're seeking approval with the addendum to the wording for the district plan for the safe return to in-person instruction, continuity of services, and again, this is placed on our website, so it's another one of those state statute pieces.
Madam President, I move that we approve the district plan for safe return to in-person instruction and continuity of services as presented with the change to section G as discussed.
Second.
It's been moved by Jamie, seconded by Kelsey, to approve the district plan for safe return to in-person instruction and continuity of services with the wording changes to section G. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We are now back to our conversation regarding the senior citizens passes. Mrs. Meyer.
If we were in Kansas City, I think most of the big school districts there actually now, if you just say I'm a senior, they no longer give passes out. It's a community effort to get more community members and response to come to games. I always joke that grandma and grandpa's who's spending money at the concession stand for their grandkids. It's also a good sign the family comes together, etc. And Jay reached out to League, and everybody has a senior pass for home games, for their own home games. So if ours had a pass, they couldn't go to Northern Heights and use it, all right? He suggested we move ours to 60. I think it currently is 65 and living in the district. We would want them to be at 60, living in the district, and be able to get the pass here at the district office or at the high school office. We also talked about a lot of retirees that have been with the district a long time. When they retire, receive a pass to games after they retire. That's an option there also. And I don't think that $5 or $6, I don't think the league gives a discount for senior citizens. A lot of schools that are $5 or $6, is there $3 for seniors?
I was just gonna ask for out-of-town grandparents or anybody that is 60 and older, is there a reduced price?
Not that I know of, but I have been to a lot of schools that have that. And
Because
so,
they're probably traveling, you know, and that, just looking at the cost
Right.
of gas and everything to get there, and then concession stands,
and,
it just becomes a lot.
And I know we
does.
did put in the cap, it's $20 for families
Mhm.
cap,
Right.
but
Well,
But that's, when that says family though, is that
that's immediate
immediate
family.
family?
It's like your family.
Yeah.
So we had a retired teacher come in here a week ago to get a senior pass for her husband who turned 65, but she's not at that age. So she wouldn't be considered being able to get in free. So it doesn't say senior pass and your spouse. I don't know, I don't see any senior citizens coming in November when we're playing football and it's sleeting out or anything. But here in the fall, it's a good thing to come. Enjoy what's going on. I don't know,
I also know a lot of seniors are on a fixed income.
I also think, don't we have to have approval to change our prices?
not
for our
for home
games.
games.
Yeah, I mean, I just remember Jay talking a lot about having to negotiate that.
That's if we were
I
gonna
think
go
that,
up
yeah,
in price. Yeah,
because they voted against, I think the league wanted to raise prices, and he said he voted against that. So, we can do, as far as senior passes or retirees, we can do
Right.
basically for our home games what we need to.
wondering if we might get more people in the stands that are sitting at home watching it on Channel 2 right now that might
Yeah, I forget
show up in
about that.
person.
Well, like basketball's inside, I
Mhm.
mean, no.
Well, a lot of grandparents come.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Right.
a lot of grandparents come.
What, forgive me if I should know this information, what do our entry fees go towards? Does that help pay for the referees?
Officials.
Yeah,
So if I don't know how much money we're talking about losing, but is that gonna be
What does that
a
look like?
problem?
I'm gonna tell you, a $5 ticket at the gate is not gonna make or break us.
That's
I
fine.
mean, if you wanted to count, we lost $30 tonight. You know, I just don't see that. It's kind of like asking families to bring a ream of paper for the copier for your kid. A ream of paper is $3 at Walmart.
Well, like you said, recoup in the concession stand possibly.
You're right.
I think it's a no-brainer.
or they'll donate to whatever kids group is selling something that evening, or fundraisers, or those sort of things, so.
Well, it just feels nice, like it
It
should
does,
be the
yeah,
right
right,
thing
yeah.
to do. So,
I don't see a negative to it.
So just to recap, if we were to approve that this evening, it would be anyone age 60 and older for our home games, living in the district, and passes would be available at the district office in the high school.
Yes.
But that doesn't necessarily touch retirees.
It does not.
So do you want something in there that if you've worked for the district for more than 10 years and retire from the district, that you also get one?
I think 10 years is a good,
It's a long
good
time.
cap.
It's a long
Yeah, that's a
service.
good time to, yeah.
I mean, chances are the people that are retiring at 55 have been here a long, long time. And
Yeah,
have spent a lot of time in a gym anyway, so.
absolutely.
Or field or,
Whatever.
yeah. How to play.
Okay, age of 60 years and older, available for home games, living within the district, available to any staff that have retired after 10 years employment with the district, and passes available at the district office in the high school.
I like that.
I would also like to hear, which I'll send Jay an email, but if we offer any kind of senior discount on entry, because I can't remember.
We
Senior
don't.
discount for
Currently,
us.
no.
You mean? Right, I meant just in general.
For even out of district.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we can address that.
Yeah, not tonight, I'm just curious about that.
See, that's what I thought, we had to have a uniform price across the league, and those decisions are, I could be totally wrong, Terry, am I making that up?
No, I mean, I think there's a standard cost per adult that comes to a game. Now, whether or not you want to waive some of that for
At home.
at home,
Yes.
that's up to you. I guess I have mixed feelings about doing that for people who don't live in our district.
I agree.
I mean,
But what about if I send my kids to this district? My
Well, I
mean,
taxes don't go here,
grandparents.
but,
but that can be addressed through what we're doing now
right.
with, I mean, there could be waivers or exceptions or whatever. What I don't like is that person from Linden who now gets to come for $3, but our grandparents have to pay $6 to go to Linden to the game.
Yeah, I wouldn't put a senior price. I'd leave it what the league says.
For adults except for, so we're just looking,
Just looking
doing a
at,
home rule.
Well, and here's what I know, people go to those games and they ask. I mean, if they offer, you know what I mean? If
yes,
they
they
go
do,
in
they
there,
ask.
there's a discount, they'll ask, but, yeah.
I was just thinking for grandparents that don't live in district.
Yeah.
Because they may come to every game, but they're driving and then they're still paying full price. That was just my thought process was,
But the
I don't
children
know.
and grandchildren go here.
right,
Mhm.
if we could offer, like each kid gets so many senior
That'd be
center
hard
pass, but
to
then it
determine
just
too
gets
upon
really
entry, because it's
complicated.
like,
Mhm.
okay, well, your kid plays for Council Grove and you're out of towner, but you're for the other team and you're also from out of town, sorry, you don't get the discount, but you do. That'd be a lot of, when you're taking money at these things, it'd be really
I
awkward.
was just thinking the senior passwording, the living in district, if there was,
Instead.
Well,
make
down the
it
road, we
free.
could look at that through a reduced rate of like the season passes.
right, just a discussion thing, because I'm just thinking, like, not all grandparents live local, but a lot of them are gonna drive and watch as many games as they can, so.
That might be a good idea to look at in the future, family season pass.
Well, we already have some of those.
Right, right.
But I mean, I don't know, just another idea.
Yeah, I like it, I'm just thinking.
Okay, I'll make the motion since I wrote the notes down. I move that we create a senior citizens pass for those patrons over 60 years of age, 60 years and up, for our home games, living in the district, and to staff who have retired after 10 years of service with the district, with passes available at the district office and the high school.
I'll second.
The season pass option for senior citizens, or free pass option, has been moved by Tina Rake, seconded by Jamie. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Classroom budgets.
I just like to spend money, I guess. In most school districts I've been in, each teacher, certified teacher, normally has a $200 or $250 classroom budget. And there isn't one here. And what I understand is I'm supposed to kind of know when John Doe is ordering stuff, and then later in the year that he ordered, so he's already spent enough money that somebody else doesn't get it. I think it's a good thing, whether it's $150 or $200. We have teachers that get on Facebook and ask the community to buy them things. Let them do that for the wish list, but we should provide them the basic things they need in their classroom. We don't need 3 pencil sharpeners, maybe we just need one. We can look and see that their request is reasonable and within their budget. And normally by March 31st, if they haven't spent their budget, the district office encumbers that money. So we're not just at the end of the year or in June trying to spend that money that's left over. And then it starts over again on July 1st.
Well, a couple things are, up to this point, prior to Bryce with Micah, our teachers have not went without. And so I want to be
Yeah.
very clear that they can put it on Facebook, but every need has been met if a
Okay.
teacher came to this office and asked for money or went to a building leader.
Right.
So I I just want to make that clear because we've always
Yeah, I haven't
Made it happen.
denied any of it, I'm just trying to see how we were balancing things if everybody got a request in. And I'm sure the new teachers were told that to order what they needed, okay.
And the PTOs have been a big part of that too.
Well, and I'm not saying we don't need to not do a budget, but I also, I want teachers to know that we've made it happen.
Okay.
In our community, I want our community to know that we've made it happen for our teachers.
Okay.
When they've asked, they've received.
Now we just standardize the process, is what you're requesting basically.
Yeah, I still get the choice of whether or not I'm approving it or not, and maybe we can figure out a spreadsheet to look at the balances and who did it, so, I don't want one teacher to spend $500 or $600 and another teacher only asked for 50 because she didn't think there was money there. You know, again, I want to make sure they know that we're gonna fund what they need.
What is the messaging at the building level? Can I ask that?
The messaging,
As far as
that we,
needs?
the district always provides for what they
Okay.
need. So like putting it on Facebook and having that wish list, I think that's kind of a fad that a lot of educators are doing for some districts that don't provide. But we let our teachers know for sure that our district does provide for those needs.
Okay.
And we still have a fund for the
Yeah,
supplies, the majority of the supplies.
right.
I'm not saying it's not a good idea, I just
No,
wanna
I'm-
make sure that our
needs are met.
our teachers have been well taken care
And I think if there's anything that,
of. And we
The
want it to
district can-
stay taken care of.
right,
Yeah.
that we have ever been turned down in the past, they know they could ask the foundation for money too. So, I mean, we've got some
Okay.
options. Is this anything anybody wants to act on this evening, or do we just,
Well, I think I just needed more knowledge
Mhm.
than anything else,
Mhm.
so, we'll just go from there.
and you can let us know if you
Yeah.
see.
If we need to standardize it or do something more official, maybe?
Well, and on the flip side, our teachers have really been good about asking for what they need and not over asking, but making sure that they're asking for what it is their students need too.
Well, I
We don't want them to not ask.
I
Right.
think it varies by discipline too, because some disciplines have greater needs than others do.
And if there is an approval process that has to go through the building principal and then the superintendent. So sometimes there are things that this is more of a need that you don't really, or a want than a need, so
Okay.
we have those discussions too.
Is that covered with the new staff when they come in? Is that part of the process for onboarding? Great.
Bryce talked to them about ordering and that they have money that they could use. We talked about, obviously, it's a need, not necessarily all the special ones that you save those for your wish list, but if you need something for your classroom, to let us know.
Okay, that helps me out.
And I also think that, do the buildings still have supply closets too? That are pretty packed full of like the daily stuff, paper clips and tape and glue.
The main thing is for new teachers, we don't buy supplies for them. Another collaborating teacher wouldn't buy supplies for them because they may not want what they use. So we just wait till the beginning of the year and then we order what they need.
Okay.
Thanks for everyone for your clarification. That's absolutely helpful.
Yes, thank you.
Our last option or action item this evening is an executive session. There will be no action taken this evening, but we will have an executive session.
On personnel.
Yes.
Madam President, I move we go into executive session to discuss an individual employee's performance pursuant to non-elected personnel exception under COMA with the board and Mrs. Meyer, and the open meeting will resume in the boardroom in 10 minutes.
And time will start once we get the computer shut down and everyone out. So thanks everyone for attending. Thanks, Angela.
Thank you.
Have a good
start.
day.
It's already started,
Go with your kids.
take a breath.
Meyer, the evaluation piece, and she can fill out her goals and some of those things, and then we can meet as a group. But we're meeting probably about an hour to be able to discuss strat plan and superintendent evaluation tool with the group. So I just need, we need some dates that we can throw out that would work.
And we'll add that I attended that superintendent evaluation webinar, and then I guess I was not paying enough attention, because I thought they were gonna like go in depth into kind of what the tool was and how to do it, but it was more just that it's available and that you need to do it. And so KSB will come out and work with us on the new tool and in depth. I think they said it'd be about an hour. They did not mention how much that would cost. So there would be a cost involved, but I don't know if, because I haven't even looked at the new tool in depth, if it's something that we would want more help in getting off the ground. That is an option.
If we choose to be one of their pilot programs, there's
No cost?
it's a little bit different than what then again, I mean, we may be able to work through this quicker without them. The only reason that they recommended coming was because they can tie, since they did our strat plan, back to this, and be able to work through that a little bit. Because I did send you the strat plan, but she's been a little busy. So, but we can get everybody, copies, hard copies tonight, even before you leave, if you want to look at the document. They're scheduling already 60 days out if we want leadership from KSB here. If we think we can just do it as a group, then we don't need to have them in the room.
I would guess we can figure it out, but I don't know.
I think so.
So do we want to look at then the October 9th board meeting and just try to be here early? And Billy, if you can't, just when you can get here,
Yeah.
would,
Like 5 o'clock, is
yeah,
that what you're looking at?
yeah, if that works for,
Yeah, not far enough in advance, I can make that work.
So on that, do you want to meet as a board yourself to go over the evaluation?
I think what we would probably do is meet with you first, and then we may recuse you from the room and then have you back in, maybe try to knock out the whole process that night if we can. They are gonna put it online where it will actually do all of the wording, pieces, and I think that's why they haven't put it online yet. They're gonna make it where whatever comments you put in, you can fill it out electronically, and it will put the comments where they're supposed to be, put all the notes in, everything. So hopefully by that date, we would know, but I can get everybody a hard copy tonight if we want.
So October 9th at 5.
This is a little different subject, but I have a request. I did not know you had a meeting the other day, so anytime you have a special meeting or something, I think if you're not sure everybody knows about it, maybe somebody can make a phone call. I was here.
Yeah, that's gotta come from the board.
But I did not know. And part of this, I'm only getting email on my computer. I'm not getting it on my phone, and I'm not getting it on my iPad. So there's some kind of a glitch there that needs to be
To download the
taken care
email.
of. But,
Yeah, I think you've got to dump the app and re-download it.
okay.
I think
But
Tori or
I'm only
somebody sent
getting it
something
on
out.
my computer, and I just don't look at my computer that often. I was here, I could have come.
Okay.
All right. Well, with no further items to,
We could scan those and send those out to all of them.
that would be fantastic. I'll just leave you a copy. Reminder that our next board meeting will be on September 11th. We do have our R&R hearing that evening at 5:45. There will be a roll call vote associated with that for state statute. Budget hearing at 5:50 and our regular meeting at 6 p.m. Nothing else to discuss?
Madam President, I move we adjourn.
So what do you think?
It's been moved by Jamie, seconded by Billy, that we adjourn. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you. Motion carries. We're adjourned. Yes.
Thank you.
Right, no, it's the app has